Good morning. It's going to be another hot, muggy day, which means I'm out and about. It's 6 and no, it's about 7, and I'm going to go inside, and I've locked all the pets in the house except for these guys. They're having fun. I finished cleaning up the debris field in the front yard, finally, after 5 years, and moved one of these ferns from elsewhere. I've never been able to get any of these lily of the valley to enjoy this spot, which is a shame. But hopefully I can move more ferns under the trees. There are some irises, which came from the neighbors. That was the only thing he's ever given me. They pulled out one of the barberry bushes and gave me that to replace it. Well, that was nice of him. That was when he put up the fence, which I thought was going to be a problem, but in the height of the summer, it doesn't really cast any shadow at all. I got these lilies and daisies on sale, and if I go back to Lowe's, they're like 3 for $10. They're very pot bound. If I go back to Lowe's, I might get some more and fill in here, because I do not think I'm going to get anything to grow here except for the weedy vines. Lady before me loved English ivy. I got 2 different kinds, and she thought that they were a good thing. But, you know, you got to keep it mowed, because it's just going to, like kudzu. Because I'm basically got a... Oh, I didn't notice the oak tree. That's going to go away. But I feel bad. I always end up moving them. But the flowering plants in here got all strangled. So these big ferns, I will attempt to transplant. Ferns notoriously do not like that. Up into this area here, give it a little Jurassic Park thing. So I got to go in and individually pull them out, because there are really big rocks under all there, because she thought that was landscaping. Hey, let's throw some rocks down. And I have no idea what's going on with this plant. It has got some bugs that are really doing a number on it. And I think if this was... I had cleared this out last year, but I think if it was just singular standing alone, it would be a lot harder for the bugs to take advantage. Yeah, more stuff I have to clear out. This was way worse 5 years ago, trust me. We got these lilacs are doing much better since I've cleaned out. There was just a wall of flowering shrubs here. I managed to finally kill a multiflora. I think I killed it. I don't know. It's coming back. But it was just strangling all of these expensive plants. So the apple tree, a couple of the branches had got attacked by something. I don't know what. This is my little mutant one, which is sort of an excursion into a espalier, because the top had broken off, and I got it for like $10. So I'm trying to get all of the bottom roots to kind of have a bouquet shape so that they don't drag on the ground. We'll see. That was an experiment with the fence that my dog doesn't seem to made short use of. Trying to watch where I walk. That's that multiflora, which will not die. Yeah, I keep killing it. Whenever I'm angry, I come out and I kill it some more. And there's one of my rhubarbs that I had no room for, so basically they go in over here. And there's another, and another, and I have a 4th one that has to come in here someplace. I don't use this. This is like my mulch. I just throw things back here. This is the other apple tree. I'm doing pretty well on that one. I've got some apples going in. I think last year I got 6, 7. Enough to make a pie, anyway. I know I still have not thinned out this lettuce. I should probably thin it out by eating it. And there's a couple of cucumber plants in there that are struggling. They will grow up over this. And this is more of my compost. I just throw everything in here. Kind of suppresses the weeds a little bit. But this is where I removed a bunch of undesirable things, and that's where the final resting place of the female holly bush. She had gotten moved 3 times since I had moved here, and oh, she's got berries. That means she's happy. Don't remember her having berries last year. So I think she's finally happy in this partial shade area. This forsythia was a wall, like a wall. And I've got it down to 3 or 4 distinct plants, which are, of course, all kind of fakakta away from the fence line, which is weird. And this, senior moment, sorry. That was in full shade when I moved in, and it did not flower for like 2 years. But since I've been trimming and trimming and trimming, it now gets a goodly amount of shade and then sun, and then it flowers. Oh, I gotta go back there again, some more weed plants. It's hard because there's no lawn here. It's just, not that I like lawn, it's just yeah, you know what that is. I know what that is. English ivy and vinca minor, and the vinca minor it's just taking over. So, like kudzu. So I kind of lean into it, and I take out anything that's not them. The animals like it, and there's lots of cool spaces. Unfortunately, the bugs really enjoy this yard. I came out here for a half an hour last night, gave a half a pint of blood. I'm not sure what that is, but I kind of like it. That thing on that tree, I don't know, some sort of parasitic plant. All of these are really parasitic viney plants. And that's the male holly, which I've been trying to sculpt, but it was kind of empty on the inside and all the green was on the exterior, so if I'd cut all the exterior, it would have a problem. So every year I'm kind of narrowing it down to trying to give it some shape. Otherwise, it's just kind of like the blob. Whoop, the sun's coming in. It's going to make it hard. The pond, I bought some. I finally went and got the water hyacinths for it, and unfortunately I weed whacked, so now there's a lot of debris in there. But besides the water hyacinth, the duckweed came back. I thought the last snow in May had done something to it, and the hornwort, both of them are native plants, so basically they don't really overwinter very well, but oh, I should add some more water. Try to keep the water clean, because the animals all drink out of it, including the cats. I can't get them to stop. But, time to put in another mosquito dunk. And we get some more ferns back here, and some more weedy things I haven't weeded yet, and some more irises, and these I don't know, what are they, weedy violets, whatever they are. They tend to take over, so I weed whacked most of them. And I'd say a good third of my property is taken up by this English ivy stuff, which it gives it a nice cool carpety look, but it keeps the ground very moist, and that's where the insects like to breed. So, oh, look, another barberry bush. Shocker. And that's my rock pile. She had these big slatey rocks all over the lawn, like making paths to nowhere. And I pulled up most of them, but eventually I'll use them for something. God knows she probably spent money on them. But all of these trees, there was just this huge, like 20 years of brush. There were pallets underneath rotten. This was just like a big debris pile. So, and there's my debris pile, because I'm pulling everything out of the shed so I can change the pallets inside the shed, because the shed is below water level in the winter. So I'm pulling everything, all the gardening stuff out. And yeah, no, the shed should go away. Making the shed go away is $500. Getting another one is $1,200 or $1,500 or something. So that isn't happening anytime soon. And then we got a little widowmaker up there. Yeah, I know, I gotta pay somebody to take that down. And that's another lilac that I've been sort of encouraging not to die, and I think it's doing pretty good, as long as I keep the greens up at the top. And we have a quiet little space back here. I'm gonna try to start spraying for bugs. I've ordered something because I can't enjoy it. I can't sit out here. It's just get eaten alive. This is, as far as I know, is a form of lilac tree, and when they put the back room on, they really butchered it, but they've kind of come back. And yeah, that's my wood pile under the house. And this is a squirrel feeder, which I no longer use because all the squirrels eat in the front of the house and I can't see them. I've got to reclaim the back porch. Then I will. Yeah, I know. I see what's going on with those windowsills. Don't even go there with me. And that is up for sale, finally. Oh, this is sort of a flower bed that anytime I find any bulbs or anything, I throw it in here. So it flowers throughout the season. You know, we've got peonies, we've got lupin, we've got things I don't even know that they are. But there was a bird bath, but it was kind of just like a cat bed. Lady's mantle. There's a bunch of tulips in there, and it just rotates through the season. Yeah, the only nice little sunny, cool spot. It's either sunny or it's cool, and that's the only one place in between where it's sunny and cool. And a picnic table, that's my workbench. And this little clematis, which I didn't even know was here. We moved everything when we put the addition on, and I didn't even know that was here until it started growing. So this, it grows up to this middle of this trellis. And I tried putting one on this side, but it died, so I will have to try again. And the asters, yeah, there's a little rhubarb in there that has to get moved into the sun. I know. I'll do it when it's not hot out. And back here is another clematis, which I thought had died. The rhubarbs. I have not made anything with rhubarb this year. I've just been giving it away. And the sedum and a rose bush, which I've tried to murder many times. When I bought a house, it was huge, and it was in front of the gas meter, or the electric meter, which was stupid. So I keep trimming it back, and it keeps growing. Go figure. And there used to be a heather there, but it is no longer. I think that winter has just had it with that. And we got a little peony, and there was something else supposed to grow behind that, but I haven't seen it this year. Okay. That's the edges. And over here we have a pot of annuals. And we have potatoes. I think they will actually take another couple of bags of soil in there. It grows like freaking kudzu. I mean, that's my word today. But yeah, I could probably throw another couple of bags on top of that. I might get those this morning if I go over early enough. Yeah, that's an oak leaf. I found an acorn, threw it in there. And I gave up trying to put all of the herbs into the garden. We're just going to go with the ones that actually have a chance of surviving the winter. So, put in some more lavender. I don't expect any of those to survive the winter because apparently you can't buy a really big lavender. They'll sell you a big lavender in a pot, but it turns out to be a bunch of little ones. Go figure. But we have mint, different kinds of lavenders, rosemaries. I have a hard time with thyme. I don't think it should be in the bed. I think I need to find it a spot in the ground or start bringing it in, which is kind of the plan right now. Winter savory. At least it's supposed to be winter savory. This is cutting celery, which is not supposed to come back, but it did. And we have some sage, which came back, and a parsley, which I bought. I've written the parsley in over winter because it's a biennial, and then I put it back out the next year. That is oregano, which is having a really good time. 2 different kinds of chives. See, basil does not do well in my yard. I think if I ever do a covered, which I'm thinking of doing a polytunnel on one of these beds, I think it'll do better in a polytunnel. It's just not worth it because it takes up so much water. And don't know what that is. I think it's a weed I'm letting grow to see what it is. And get some, I might get 2 strawberries, maybe. I don't know, I think that's what I got last year. I think it's more ornamental. And shallots are having a good time. So far I've only had to take off 1 flower, but the things in between the shallots are black oil sunflowers from the seeds from the squirrels, which I had in the compost pile. Yeah, I'm just letting them grow. They're amusing. These just flowered yesterday. These should be zucchini, and those are a yellow cherry tomato. And I've got to tie everything up. I usually wait for them to get a little taller and start to fall over, and that way when I tie them up I can ensnare them. And we have some yellow squashes in here, and I threw in extra peas just because I have lots of extra peas, and when I wire this up with twine they will grow up that nicely. And I'm in the shadow. Basically more of the same. These beds are very, very similar. They're zucchini, yellow squash, yellow cherry tomatoes. It's kind of like you buy a flat of 6. I put 3 in one and 3 in the other. And this side has garlic, which I probably won't harvest until next year. But I decided to put a lot of each one of those, and it has a lot more sunflowers, which will make me happy when they bloom. And this has a shitload of peas, tons of peas, and you can see I did sort of a cagey thing so that it doesn't matter which way it goes, as long as it's inside the cage, it's not trailing out on the ground. And also in there are a couple of tomatoes, because I have these sort of pyramid shapes. And the grapes, which have no arbor, which is kind of scary now for me, because it was like, I truly expected them to die, so I didn't build them in an arbor. This one is doing really, really well. And these two, this one is less full, but more viney. And this one is kind of kicking up, not much. If I had a choice, I'd pick to keep one of them, which is the Concord grape, but it's not. It's the one that's doing the least well. So I'll put on some weeds. So basically, the soft parts of it will die back. So I think next year we definitely have to make a decision about an arbor. Somebody told me I can do well with PVC. I'm worried about attaching anything permanent to these beds, because the beds are not permanent. The beds are going to die, deteriorate eventually over time. But I think at this certain point, I got to do something. So next year we'll maybe try doing a PVC frame over the whole thing. See what happens. But I'm definitely thinking about doing a polytunnel over one of these beds using 1/4-inch conduit. I just really don't have a reason to it right now. But it's a thought. And so there you have it. And I usually don't do this until like July and August, when I'll do it again then, when the squash look like very Jurassic. And we'll see what happens and what we get out of it. Bye.